However, I'm sure that many of you in front of me, both men and women, would not proudly label yourselves as such. Unfortunately, this is currently the dismal truth in America. Less than 100 years ago, women were granted the right to vote. And although this was a critical turning point for women, there are still many obstacles keeping us from achieving equality. Within our culture, there is still a very prominent wage gap, the apparent rape issue, and women are still lacking the rights to their own bodies. Women are humans and have every right to be treated as equals. It's time to make a change and identify as a feminist. So, what is feminism? According to Brittany Anderson, in an article titled The F Word, feminism is defined as the belief that men and women should have equal rights and opportunities. Now, I would hope that most of you would wholeheartedly agree with this statement. However, a poll ran by the New York Times in 2015 showed that only 18% of Americans considered themselves feminists. By using this definition of feminism, that would mean that only 18% of Americans can confidently say that they believe in equality for men and women. Now, although there have been many strides within the past 100 years, there are still many issues holding women back from equality. Women are currently paid only 80% of what a man is paid while doing the same work. AAUW's article, The Simple Truth About the Gender Pay Gap, shows that it will be approximately $21.52 before women are making $1 for every dollar that a man makes. As you can see, it's starting to flatten off and women aren't really making very much progress right now, so it's time to make a difference. Women's careers are also often thought to be less valuable than a man's career. This is due to the fact that women are usually the ones who have kids, and employers can often think that they will abandon their career. This makes employers hesitant when hiring women rather than men, and this also gives employers a reason to give raises to men rather than women. This discrimination goes far beyond the workplace as well. Society frequently says that if a woman is raped, it's because she was asking for it. Our society is a society that teaches how to prevent rape rather than how to stop rape. Dr. Shu states in his article titled Guidelines for Rape Prevention Programs that women who don't resist rape are often thought to be responsible for the consequences. It is also often thought that men rape to live up to the stereotype of aggression, being in charge, and having to be strong. Diane Herman states in an article titled The Rape Culture that society encourages aggressive behaviors from men while encouraging submissive behaviors from women. This can be thought to be the cause of many of the rapes that happen in America. Feminists are constantly trying to reduce the rape culture while also trying to fight for women's rights to their bodies. There's been a lot of talk recently about Trump's promise to overturn Roe v. Wade and defund Planned Parenthood. This would be revoking women's rights to abortion and free medical health. This would be denying thousands of women sexual education. It would increase the number of STDs, pregnancies, and illegal and unsafe abortions. According to an article titled Planned Parenthood at a Glance, published in 2014, Planned Parenthood currently provides care to over 4 million men and women each year. Revoking this privilege from America would be detrimental to our society. Although identifying as a feminist is the first step to achieving equality between men and women, we must also act on our beliefs as feminists. Stephanie O'Connell states in an article published in 2015 that by providing longer paid family leave to all women, the number of women in higher paying jobs will increase significantly. As you can see, there's currently only 12% of workers that have access to paid family leave. Decreasing the cost of childcare will also greatly decrease the gender wage gap. Family leave and affordable childcare should not be a benefit, but instead should be a right. We must also change society's view on the rape culture. This will decrease the rape rate and change the negative stigma surrounding rape victims. We must stop encouraging the stereotype that men must be aggressive. This will drastically decrease the rape rate. There is also going to be a visible decrease in the amount of rapes in America if we encourage men not to rape rather than teach women how not to get raped. It's time to stand up for women's rights to their bodies and fight for Planned Parenthood. We must attend marches for Planned Parenthood and raise awareness about women's rights to their bodies. By doing this, we can help millions receive sexual education and other free reproductive services. It is essential to speak out for women and achieve equality between men and women. If we fail to become feminists and fight for equality, the consequences for America will be detrimental. Now, I'm sure that some of you in the audience are thinking, this speech doesn't apply to me, either because I'm not a woman or because I don't feel discriminated against. However, this is far from the truth. In a recent speech given by Emma Watson at the United Nations on feminism, she addressed this issue. Emma stated, "If not me, who? If not now, when?" Although there is already a large feminist movement, we will not see any differences unless more people get involved and fight for equality. If you don't speak up, it will take over 100 years for women to be paid the same as men. The rape rate will rise exponentially, and women will most likely lose all rights to their bodies. Without the feminist movement, women will never be considered equals. Think about the future. Do you want the women in your life to continue to be seen as less than men? I urge you to make a change in your life. Identify as a feminist and stand up for women's equality. Attend rallies that support equality and speak out about inequality. Next time you vote with women's rights in mind. Vote for the candidate that advocates for gender equality and will protect women's rights. Don't let the ignorance of others discourage you from identifying as a feminist. I'm asking for you to go out into the world, call yourself a feminist, and in turn, make the world a better place. Remember, if not me, who? If not now, when?